Hey, hold on. I just did something. What did I just do? XO Toriyama. Anyways, and I'm back with my fake glasses. If you watched my last video, I apologize for how shit-faced I was. As you can tell from today's title, it's a spooky, scary time. My paranormal experiences. Dang, that's like bright. Can you see me? I've only ever had paranormal experiences when I lived in the country of Tuscumbia, Alabama. It was like between 2004 to like 2006-ish, 7-ish. I can't really remember. I think it was like 2004 to 2007. I don't know. I was 6 to age 9, I think. Girl, I don't know. I was just young, let's just say that. Okay, let me give you a backstory first. So we lived in this house that was actually a relative's house. They built that house from the ground up. The land that they built it on was an old slave, like, plantation land, like dead bodies buried there. So I'm assuming that's where the paranormal experiences came from, like the ghost, you know? But being that we were black, I assumed they were friendly ghosts, being that they didn't like try to harm us or like fuck with us like that, for real. So, you know, house is built on old slave plantation land. So I remember, like, I mean, most houses at night you hear stuff like creaking and pops and stuff like that because the house is settling, right? At first I was scared because I was a little kid, but like after a while I was just like, oh, this is normal. And then like after moving and like living in other houses, it's like, okay, like the house was settling like every night, like a lot. I don't know. Anyways, the very first noise I heard, like knocking on my window, and I'm scared as hell because I'm like 4. How old am I? Fuck, I don't know. I'm like 6 and I'm like, yo, who's like knocking on my window? Like I was too scared to look and I would just like ignore it. But I remember like another night went by and I heard knocking and I'm like, maybe it's my brother like messing with me, but like I could hear him snoring, so it wasn't him. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm not about to look either because that's scary. Like I'm 6 and I hear this knocking on my window, like,
no ma'am. No ma'am.
no. So that was the first paranormal experience I heard. So I think it was like Christmas or something, I don't know. Somebody gifted us a, what do you call it? Like a battery operated like James Brown doll thing. And then whenever you like press the button, it'd be like, wow, I feel good. And he would just play that song. He played another one, I don't remember what it was, but like I remember it kept going off by itself. So we took the batteries out because we're like, okay, this is like slick annoying. It was off, but it was still playing, so we thought it had like a short in it, right? Bitch. Well, I can't remember if we kept it. I think it was kept in my brother's room. I think we were like chilling, living room, I think. And then we just hear, wow, I feel good. And mind you, we took the batteries out. So we're like, oh, hell no. Like, well, why is this still playing? Like, we took the batteries out. So that was kind of scary because I'm like, okay, ain't no way it should be playing and the batteries are out, you know? So that was kind of like, okay, some weird shit's going on. Like, I'm young and I'm dumb, but I was smart enough to know some weird shit is going on. So that was that. The next thing that happened was, like, I remember my dad, he still does. He works for this railroad, and he was working for them back then too. So this is almost like 20 years ago. And like my dad would always accuse us of like, oh, I hear you walking to the kitchen at night. And we're like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, I be asleep. Plus, I was too scared to walk around the house by myself because, like, when you're young, you just think there's monsters everywhere. So, like, I wasn't sneaking into the kitchen. My brother wasn't sneaking into the kitchen. And after a while, we're just like, bro, like, why are you so mad? Like, on God, we're not going to the kitchen at night. I remember my mom telling me this story. She said that, like, for a couple of nights, whenever my dad would hear footsteps going into the kitchen, he would try to, like, sneak and tiptoe and, like, catch us in the act, right? Guess who's in the kitchen? Not us. So another night went by. He heard footsteps going into the kitchen. He would look. He would follow us in there. Nobody to be found. That's some spooky shit going on. That was like the third paranormal creepy experience. Another creepy experience was my mom, well, like I said, my dad worked for the railroad, so he'd be gone for like a couple of nights at a time. And he would never really forget his house key. Like, he would every now and then. Oh, it's just a car. I got scared, bitch. He would forget his keys like once in a blue moon, right? And whenever he did, he would call and my mom would answer. So one night, my mom just hears like banging on the front door, like, FBI, open up, bitch, type of banging, right? So my mom was like, that's kind of weird, because he would call, right? So she said that she went to the front door. Nobody was there. Like, not a trace of nobody. Like, we lived on a gravel road, so like if someone was walking or if a car came, you would see that like dust, you know, that was kicked up. Didn't see nothing. So my mom was like kind of scared. I'm glad she didn't tell me back then, because I would have been scared as hell, because like I was already scary. So that just thinking about that makes me so scared. Like, if you just hear some do at like 3 a.m, that's scary. Mom, why was you so calm? That's I would have called the police. I would have called Spider-Man. I would have called the Avengers, the whole Marvel universe, like a Mob, for Mob Psycho. That's scary. I'm sorry. I'm like dwelling on that. So, the last and final, the super scariest thing that happened to me. I remember one night, my mom, she came and like woke me up out of my sleep. I was sleeping good too, so I was kind of pissed off. She woke me up and she seemed kind of like nervous, so I instantly got nervous, because I was like, like, I'm feeling your energy, like, what's up? So she brings me into her bedroom. She just seemed like paranoid, so I'm like, okay, is there like a monster in here? Because why would you bring me in here? So I think she was trying to call my dad or something, I don't know, but she was like, the TV, and I'm like, what about the TV? Like, what about it? And I'm sorry if the lighting's bad. I'm like, what about it? And she was like, okay, watch, it's gonna happen. So she has the remote, right? And she's like pressing a power button for it to turn on and off. So like, it wasn't doing anything, and I was like, that's weird. Why'd you wake me up for this? But so she would put the remote down, and then the TV would turn on by itself, and then it would turn off, and then it would turn on, and then it would turn off. And mind you, she's not pressing any buttons, so I was like, whoa, okay, I'm kind of scared now. And my mom's like freaking out, so she was making me freak out. And so I was like, what happened? She was like, I was asleep and the TV turned on, and she's like, I thought I rolled over on the remote, but the remote's on the desk, and the desk was like next to the bed, so there's no way she could have done that in her sleep, you know? So I was like, right, like, okay, I'm scared. Like, she keeps messing with the remote, and like whenever the TV would turn on, she would try to turn it off, and it wasn't doing anything. Like, basically the remote wasn't working. Like, the TV was like on, off, on, off, on, off. Like, the TV was like in its own little world. Bruh, is the lighting bad? Like, it looks bad from my end, I don't know. So the TV was turning on and off by itself. So I was like, Mommy, what's happening? I was scared. I think it was just me and my mom. I think my brother was at his friend's house. So my mom unplugs the TV. So she's like, maybe if I just unplug it, because like she's thinking, you know, there's a short in it or something, or, you know, something's wrong with the TV. So she unplugs it and it's chilling for like 5 minutes. So my mom was like, okay, just stay in here. Like, maybe it's okay now since I unplugged it. Like, let's just go to sleep. I was like, okay. I rolled over. The TV turns on. I was like, oh, hell no. I was scared. And so my mom was like, oh, hell no. So my grandma, she lived like literally right in front of us, like the house in front of us. Like the way the little neighborhood thing was set up was there's one gravel road. We're at the top of the gravel road. There's like my grandma, my great grandma, and then I think she was my aunt or something. I don't know. So it was like family. But yeah, so my mom was like, oh, hell no. So she got like a laundry basket full of clothes, threw shit in there, grabbed me, and we like ran down to my grandma's house, and we were like banging on the door at 2 a.m. And then my mom's just like hysterical. She's like, the TV, it turned on by itself, the TV, and my grandma's just like, okay, chill, like you can stay the night, but like just chill. And so yeah, that was scary. Like, I'll never forget that. I'm terrible at telling stories, as you can tell, but I just thought that was super weird. Like, it was just weird. So you have the like technology being controlled, like the James Brown thing, and then the TV. So in my mind now, I'm kind of like, what if the ghost or whatever was there was trying to communicate with us? Like, the TV could have been telling Morse code for all we know. I don't know. But I just thought that was really creepy. And so the last little send off or whatever of something creepy that happened was so when I lived in that house, I was always in and out of the hospital because I just had a really, really weak immune system. Like, if the wind blew a certain ways, I was in the hospital. If I woke up at the bed a certain way, I was in the hospital. Like, I was always in the hospital. So every time I go there, my dad would give me like a stuffed animal or some shit. And I remember he got me this bunny, which is staring at me right now. He got me this little like animated bunny, like the James Brown thing, how it was animated. And it would sing like a song. That song was long as hell. Like, usually the little animated things were like 10 seconds. I timed it. That bitch was 1.5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't care anymore. I've had it since 2006, and we were still in that house. So I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, I was living in Topeka, Kansas at this time, so a whole different setting. And I remember me and my mom were talking about like this, like how the paranormal shit that we would hear and like that we witnessed and stuff. So that night, I kept all of my stuffed animals on my dresser, right? That night, it was like 1 a.m. My bunny goes off by itself. And I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, I don't talked about the ghost. The ghost was like, hey, she talking about me. Let me make an appearance. Like, that spooked me out. And my mom, she's trying to act cool. Like, oh, you know, maybe it's a short in it. I remember like a couple of days went by and she was like, yeah, I was trying to keep calm. She's like, I know you're freaking out, but I was trying to keep calm. So I didn't freak out because we were talking about like the paranormal shit, you know? So yeah, now I'm low-key creeped out because the bunny's looking at me, and yeah. So that's pretty much all the paranormal stuff I've been through or witnessed or seen. I know it's nothing special, and you're probably like, this weak ass story, but I mean, it's spooky season, and I'm just trying to tell y'all my spooky experiences. So that was like the only spooky experiences I had for real. for real, for real. So let me know any spooky experiences y'all had. I suck at telling stories. I'm so sorry, but that's all I have for today. I hope y'all have a good Halloween, and I've been doing this DIY that I want to upload for literally since May, because I procrastinate. And like, I'm painting shoes. I just don't know what I want to do. Like, I literally have less than half of a shoe's worth of painting to do, and I just don't know how to finish it. I don't want to tell y'all what it is, but I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So that's what's stopping me, because like, I'll get my paint out and then I'm like, do I want to do this? So I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope y'all have a spooky season and whatever this is. Okay, bye.